As this administration plans to withdraw all American troops from Afghanistan by next year, serious questions are being raised about what this will mean to the country and how our enemies will respond. Last week, I made a trip to Afghanistan and saw with my own eyes exactly what's happening on the ground. Joining me now to help analyze the situation, former U.S. Navy SEAL, a former assault team leader of SEAL Team 6, who was also with me in Afghanistan, Chuck Farr. My brother, Chuck, we have just spent some of the most amazing days I have in my life looking at a situation on the ground, being briefed on it, meeting with Afghan partners, such as it were with the challenges traveling around the country. It's not just precipitous withdrawal. It's that we've spent, Chuck, blood and treasure, a significant amount. We flew back on a medevac flight. And Americans wonder what's the outcome. Leadership, in my take, is leaving something better than when you found it, and we have a great team under NATO Air Command that is trying to do that with their Air Force. What did you see? What's your take on this, my friend?
David, it's good to talk to you. Well, as you know, we were on the ground there. We were in the air there. As the status of forces agreement game of chicken continues, what we are looking at with the drawdown of American forces is, as you said, where are we going to leave the ball for the Afghans? Are we going to leave the ball on the 50-yard line, or are we going to leave it on their own 1-yard line? Key to the survival of the Afghan Republic is whether or not they're going to have an Air Force. There isn't a whole lot we need to teach the Afghans about being light infantry. They are masters of the world at that. But as we were there, seeing the work of General John Michel, it is key that the Afghan Air Force be able to support the many missions that are going to be necessary for them to continue to prosecute a counterinsurgency war. We saw that tremendous challenges in front of them.
You know, there's a part of this that I see, Chuck, that not only are we working with partners, in any situation there are people who want freedom all over the world. And there are Afghans that want to be free. You and I have met with many of them in the past couple of days. This effort led by General John Michel and NATO Air Command is to give them transportation, the ability to get around Afghanistan, to medevac, to case-evac, to bring the dead home. But also in our own history, we've seen military aviation become the development of commercial aviation, and it helps to spread more and more commercialism, capitalism, dare I say it, possibly the growth of a nation. If we leave precipitously, what does that do to that part of the world? Is this Afghanistan's last chance?
Well, you know, interestingly, as General Michel was saying, you know, he's not only manufacturing Afghan aviators, he's helping to put forward a new breed of Afghan citizens. You can remember the pilots we met, the Afghan pilots, how proud they were to be flying the C-130s, how proud they were in those C-208s. You know, you're looking at a new kind of Afghan, a person connected to the world, a person not burdened down by religious prejudices. These are the kind of young leaders, men and women aviators, that General Michel is working with, that are really going to be the future of Afghanistan. Not only in the military, tactical, immediate future, but in their future going forward as a republic.
You've traveled all over the world as a SEAL and just as a private citizen. Comparatively, do you see, and there are challenges here, let's not kid ourselves, anyone can turn at a moment's notice, that is a reality in Afghanistan, but do you see enough of a march towards those who want more of a free society or possibly a future for themselves outside of the Taliban, outside of the radical Muslims, outside of that kind of area?
You know, it's razor thin, because it's one thing for you and I to sit here and talk about what the Afghans should do, or what, you know, how the country should go. It's quite another thing to be in an isolated valley, little village somewhere where, you know, you might see American forces, coalition forces during the day, but in the night you're dealing with the Talibs. That is the hard part. Getting the country and getting the individuals so they are safe enough to move forward, rebuilding their country. That's the important part. We talked about, and General Michelle talked about, the war of the idea. We got to win the war of the idea.
Well, we not only have to win that war, but right now with our men and women, and by the way, to General Michelle and his team, I can't say kudos enough. Colonel Fritz, Captain Wassam, Sleepy Surge. There's a mention that'll get him a little laugh over there. They're home. They're away from us at Christmas. So this is a chance for our military to show, and for us to show that we support what they're doing over there with their partners. Chuck?
Well, absolutely. And
no, go ahead, Chuck.
well, yeah, you know what? I just wanted to say that, you know, tomorrow's Christmas Eve. It's a great moment for families in the United States. But tomorrow morning in Kabul and Bagram, it's just going to be another day on the flight line, and it's going to be more missions.
Chuck Farr, former Navy SEAL, my traveling companion for upcoming trips to Afghanistan. Thank you, my friend.